Welcome to Universal Confusion Podcast, episode 14. 14 this time, Aaron.
Finally.
Hey, Aaron, what should our viewers and listeners be doing?
They need to head to our YouTube, and they need to be subscribing. Click the bell notifications so that they can get updates for what? Justin.
Well, obviously, so they could get updates for all of our content. But you need to head over to YouTube because that's where all of it is posted, and you get new shorts every Tuesday and Thursday, and a full podcast every Friday. And then, Dale, where else can they find?
They can listen to us on Spotify, Amazon, Samsung Podcasts, and so many more. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, X, and for you communists, also TikTok. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. What are we talking about today, boys? I heard there was a interesting hearing on Capitol Hill this week.
Yes. Investigating UAPs.
UAPs. I like how they changed the
They
acronym
did.
for
Well,
UFOs.
You know why they changed it?
No, I don't.
Because they're coming out of
Inclusivity.
the ocean, too.
Oh, yeah.
So they're not only aerial, they're anomalous.
That's China's version of Amazon's
unidentified.
delivery system.
I think so.
It made it.
Unidentified anomalous phenomenon. Yeah, and there was a hearing on Capitol Hill with, let's see if I get my information right here, a Major Grush, a Graves, who was a fighter pilot, and a Navy commander, Fravor. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. And they supposedly had direct contact or information with alien stuff. So
Yeah, we watched some of it.
yeah, a little bit.
Seemed interesting. It seemed like some of them were trying to politicize it for some reason when it's just, let's just get this information out there. You know what I mean? It seemed like some of the questioning was very political based when I'm not sure how you politicize aliens or UFOs or whatever you want to call them.
I mean, they're politicians.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So
They're trying to figure out
gone.
how to get these aliens in the sex trade. So come on, man.
Yeah.
They need to profit off of them.
Or it's ran by aliens. That's a whole
Oh.
nother podcast.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but I don't know what to make of it. It seems to me anyway that, like, I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence. What do you guys think about the whole UFO thing, us having alien technology and that kind of stuff? I'm kind of on the fence.
Well, I mean, the hearing basically, Major Grush, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right either, but he says the U.S. has been aware of UFO phenomenon since the 1930s.
Yeah.
And that he's heard from sources that work on the program that there's been a multi-decade cover-up of found craft that's been reverse engineering going on and stuff like that, and that basically they intimidate anybody who tries to do anything like him, whistleblowers and stuff like that. Kind of the whole Men in Black, like it's a real thing. I don't know. It seems kind of weird to me that he would actually come forward and do this in front of Congress if there wasn't something to it.
Well, that's kind of my thought. Is I believe these people saw what they say they saw and had the conversations they say they had. I'm just not sure how deep that actually goes. Whether we're talking about actual aliens, like from other planets, kind of stuff, or if it's just advanced military.
Well,
you
he
know.
did report that, and again, it's from somebody he knew
Yeah.
that said that they did find non-human biologics in at least one of the crashes. So basically alluding to some form of an alien life.
Tardigrades, probably.
Yeah, it could be.
Because really non-human biologics could be also dogs. So
Yeah.
maybe they crashed on some dogs.
So this is a good point. My boy Neil, you know how big a fan I am of Mr. Neil.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little about my buddy Neil.
Yeah, why is that?
So, well, he came out and because they said that non-human biologics, right?
Mhm.
That there was evidence of that, and he comes out and goes, "Well, you have to understand that everything else in the world besides humans has non-human biologics.
Correct.
So they could have just found an oak tree on one of these, essentially. It just seems to me like lately, anyway, anytime anything kind of controversial or cover-up-y kind of stuff comes out, Mr. Neil's the one coming out and going, "Oh, that's nothing. That doesn't mean anything. That's just this."
Maybe
And-
he's an alien.
or a government informant
Mm.
or whatever. You know, yeah, yeah.
Because he was, I thought was it Buzz Aldrin that was the guy who was more outspoken about all that stuff?
Yeah, no, he was or is. He's still alive, but No, I just thought I saw that and was like, I'm
Well,
not
I was
sure
just-
about you anymore,
I couldn't
bud.
remember which of the two was like more outspoken about, but I guess it would be.
Reports of UFOs, aliens, everything like that goes back 6,000 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so many different instances of things happening, and government's actually taking notice of it. And that's the one thing that I was reading that I thought was really interesting, was the I want to say, I'd have to look it back up, but I think it was February 24th, 1942. Because when was Pearl Harbor? I might have that wrong. I'd have to look that up.
Pearl Harbor was 41, was it?
Was it 41?
Yeah.
So I think it might have been. Yeah, so that might have been right. Artillery guns on the U.S. West Coast shot at a UAP for quite some time. Like they were lighting the sky up trying to shoot this thing.
Yeah.
It's on the official reports. That's very freaking interesting because they never hit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what was that then?
There's stormtroopers.
Was that-
From Star Wars.
Well, that's true.
You think it was stormtroopers on the beach and just never hit anything?
Yeah, shit, man. Like the old G.I. Joe cartoons, man.
Well, no, and the one guy in the hearing said that there was a square or rectangle craft, I believe he said, came over one of the military bases twice in one day and just kind of hovered and sat there, and
Mhm.
that people got like physically ill that were in the area and that kind of stuff because of
Magnetic
it.
fields that were generated from it.
Yeah. Again, though, I don't, where I'm on the fence, I think the shit's real. I think these people saw this stuff. Where I'm on the fence is whether it's actually like otherworldly or just
Maybe it's just interdimensional travelers.
yeah, or just government technology that we're just not aware of.
There's a wormhole and people from the future is coming in.
It's possible. You could have a little interdimensional bleed over.
Yeah, you
but that
just
is also
bend
another
space and time.
podcast. That's a deep topic right there.
Ooh.
But
Bend
I'm with
space
you.
time, man.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, man. It
Just saying, you know, all
all
those
stacked
things
on
of
top of each other. Mathematically, it has to be true.
there's all those old photos of people from the future, you know, like in the background over there, or one
Mhm.
dude like in the
Oh, I love
yeah.
those. Yeah.
1890s
Guy's
had
got
like a smartphone.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
The one Mike Tyson fight. There's a picture of a Mike Tyson fight, and one of the dudes in the crowd's got a smartphone, and this is back in like the early '90s when
No kidding.
flip phones and Nokians were the fucking
Yeah.
rage.
Well, early 90s had the bricks.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
That's
some of that stuff.
interesting.
But
See, then you start to bring in, then that brings me like the Berenstein or the Berenstain Bears. Remember what was the
the
Berenstein?
kids' books.
Yeah, remember it was the Berenstein Bears?
I know what you're saying. The Mandela effect.
Oh,
I-
the
Yeah.
Mandela effect. Yeah.
But well, and there might be some of that with alien stuff. You know what I mean? It may be some. I mean, I don't know what people are seeing. I guess the big problem that I have with a lot of it is you'll get some similar reports and stuff like that, but all kinds of different descriptions on what the crafts look like. All kinds of different, especially when it comes to seeing actual aliens. When people have eyewitness reports that I saw this and I saw that.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so many different descriptions of the aliens that it makes you wonder, okay, if they are real and that these things actually happened and these people are telling the truth and they actually saw what they think they saw, or saying they saw, how come they all look different? Is there that many different species of alien that is visiting our planet, that there's all these different types of ships and all these different, but one of them was a little green guy in overalls. I have a real hard time believing that an alien showed up, got out of a ship and was a little green man, but he happened to have overalls.
Because he first
Which is-
landed on a farm first.
Nah, dude, he came down and he
Where'd
saw
that come from?
a farmer and was like, "Oh, I need to integrate."
Yeah,
and he
this
just
is just
went and
how
got
they
himself
dress.
a pair of Oshkosh.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're changelings, you know, they're shapeshifters.
No, because I've heard like there's different alien species that we've got the grays and the whites and the whatever, and like
You
they're
know what? I
all-
have heard stuff like that.
They're all
yeah.
different, but that just means that
Well,
multiple of these things come in and finding us. You know what I mean? Out of
I mean, let's face it. Somewhere out there, it's got to be like, all the movies show. Just a hub, tons of aliens walking
Yeah.
around chilling.
yeah, like
Right.
Men in Black.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like, I mean,
Maybe so, man, and they just have not yet let us in.
Okay, but then if that's the case, so if there's aliens among us, right? I understand hiding it from the public for security reasons, and you don't want, if you're trying to backwards engineer the technology and stuff, you don't want Russia or China knowing what you're doing. So I get that aspect of it. But if there's actual aliens among us or whatever, why hide that from the public?
Well-
and don't give me they're not ready for it, because I think everybody's ready for it.
No, I think it's not that. It's the helicopter mom of the government going,
Okay.
my baby isn't ready to ride a bicycle without a helmet, and me being there, and they can't go anywhere.
I see.
That's
I have
more
a
of
way
what it
different
would be.
take on that, and it's far more nefarious.
But
They wouldn't
I
tell us
mean,
about them because they're trying to use whatever
Well-
they can to their advantage so they stay in power.
well, yeah, I mean, the person with the most information and everything is going to have the most control. So, I mean, it's like if they can control information, they can control the public.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. It just
Well, some of the eyewitness reports that I read were saying like the aliens told them, you need to get this message out that we're here because your government is hiding it from you and won't do it. So, I mean, and of course,
Well, because
anybody could make that shit up.
sounds likely
All
like
right.
an alien.
I mean,
would be
honestly,
saying.
Yeah.
if that was the case from the alien, I'd be like, hey, I'm just gonna like show up,
Makes me
and
think
we're
that these-
all just gonna appear. So y'all need to like break this news.
Well,
Well,
It's
that's
like,
yeah. I mean, if they're that advanced, they could just be like, "Hey guys, here we are.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it." And the government's like, "No, don't look over there."
Yeah, I mean,
I
like-
mean, there
I
wouldn't be
mean, so
anything
there's
anyone
a
could do.
little bit of that. I just think that they wouldn't even care about us.
Okay.
Nah.
Again, kind of like we've had discussions before.
No, I
about,
think they
like,
would study us.
We'd be like,
Yeah,
ants.
I think
we
so.
would be like
Butt probes.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah.
I've seen South
Plugs?
Park.
Butt probes.
Butt- Oh,
Plugs.
yeah.
yeah, butt
But-
plugs.
butt
That's where
plugs.
butt plugs come
Yeah,
from.
I was gonna
Aliens
say-
drop them
Probe,
off.
yeah.
It's alien technology. We reverse engineered it.
That's a hot Amazon
They would-
seller.
And again, yeah, if we got
In three
technology
convenient
from
sizes.
it, it's going to be like the lowest grade technology that they can.
Oh yeah.
Like Neil deGrasse Tyson was saying, like it's like a kid with a lighter. They're going to go light shit on fire.
Yeah.
Here's
Just to see
nuclear
what happens.
technology. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they lit that on fire.
We already have nuclear technology, so I don't.
From
think,
aliens.
I don't. Think,
Yeah, but we didn't in the past.
maybe.
We didn't in 1805.
Yeah, that's true.
And all of a sudden we had
Okay.
in 1807.
We also didn't have cars
We
in
didn't.
1805,
We
and all of
didn't.
a sudden we have
Nope.
those. I mean, it's
Yeah.
called technology.
Yeah.
I don't believe the nuclear weapons came from aliens. I don't think aliens came to a planet and went.
Here's a good way to destroy yourselves. Here, check this out, guys.
Here, I'm
Well,
gonna
no,
teach
it
you
was-
guys.
here's-
We
here's-
did.
here's a power source that you can create.
I think it was completely a human thing to create something of that much destruction.
Well, wasn't the
I
X-ray
don't-
invented by mistake?
Yeah, there's something. No, the microwave.
Okay.
I think it was the microwave.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Well, there was a woman though. What did she? There was
Maybe
a,
the X-ray
a
was.
German
There's
woman.
a lot of women.
Yeah, I know, but she was. I think it was like. I think she X-ray.
I don't know.
Or she invented, or not invented, but she found a way to, she found a
See-through.
way to harness like whatever radioactive shit for X-rays. I can't.
How to capture the image.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Gus,
That a-
let's see if we
It
can
was a
find
German woman.
anything on that.
Yeah, who invented the X-ray machine?
Invention of X-ray.
Because I know Tesla was doing it too. He might have actually invented the X-ray machine.
Tesla was
because-
doing a
well,
lot of stuff that we'll never know about.
And I
because
know
the
that like a lot
government
of people
covered
like to be
that
like
up.
Yeah,
Tesla
thank
did
you,
this, and
JP
this woman
Morgan.
invented the
Right.
X-ray, and that one guy invented peanut butter. But I mean, everybody knows it was that.
William Conrad Rontag.
Wilhelm Conrad Rontgen. Wilhelm. So
Okay.
who was there was a woman though. So
I'm sure there was.
yeah. Because you ever
We wouldn't
watch
be here.
Well, there were a lot of them, and a lot of women discovered stuff, but because of the like scientific community back then, it would actually get published under a male,
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
especially back in like the 1800s.
Well, look at Paul
Yeah.
Revere's ride and stuff like that. It turns out that I think it was like his daughter or something.
Yeah, it
rode,
wasn't
like,
even-
10 times farther than him.
Yeah. Yeah. He did it, but she did the hard work.
Yeah.
Should I keep going? Yeah, you got this.
There's a pub right here.
I'm gonna ride over here.
Yeah. So with the alien thing, so you think this is a new thing, that this is, more or less not obviously the first time that they've been here, but it's in the last 150 years that
No.
they discovered us?
No.
No.
I think that these whistleblowers have a book coming out.
Oh, 100%. They already have a book deal. It's already signed.
Yeah,
it's
but books,
penciled.
man,
Ghost
books
writers
get
are working on it.
sensationalized. You know, that's the problem with
I know, but they
like,
just want to make the money.
what's that?
They just want to make
Right,
the
that's what I'm
money.
saying.
So
But
yeah,
books-
this is
books are
publicity.
hard,
Yeah,
though.
for his book.
But then there's that guy Michael Herrera who says that him
Oh,
and
that's
his
right.
Marine
The
team
military guy, yeah.
came over a ridge in Indonesia, I think it was, and one of those countries. I think it was Indonesia, and saw a spaceship loading boxes, and they got surrounded by the military and their guns taken away, and it was like Black Ops military with no ranks, no badges. And the story has a lot of, you know, the Marines supposedly didn't have comms on them. I think it's kind of odd.
Seems weird for a humanitarian effort that they wouldn't have communication.
He does have some credible stuff to go with it. He was there. He was, you know, with these other guys, and some of those other guys won't corroborate his story, but he had a message from one saying, keep me out of this shit. I'm not going down with you, blah, blah, blah. And that adds some credibility, but, you know, some of it just gets so
or was
hard
the
to
dude
believe.
like, dude, stop making this shit up and keep me the fuck out of
yeah,
it.
right.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, but dude, like, again, that stuff's so hard too because like you could see some shit, especially there, and be like, nope, my family is nope.
Yeah.
I want to keep.
I'm
them.
not touching that.
Yeah, like you know, like I get it.
but there's just been too many reports for them not to have been here for a long time. When you start looking at, you can go on Wikipedia's page and you can actually look at a list of UFO reportings or sightings or something like that. And it starts in like freaking 1500s or something like that. I can't even remember like when they start having like actual news articles and stuff
Machu Picchu.
of all this, all kinds of crazy stuff that had happened.
Well, and farther
know.
back than that, right? I mean, you really love this
Yeah,
subject.
No, it does go back to the
There's
dawn
some
of man.
people that think that humans as a race were created by aliens.
Oh, yeah.
An
I've
alien
heard that.
race
Messing
or gods
with
or
DNAs
something, but
and stuff like
what
that.
we would consider to be aliens. Yeah.
Right.
All the way back to like 6000 BC with the Sumerians and stuff like that. And it's crazy because if you look through all your like ancient cultures, there's always references to sky vehicles and
Well,
all
that
this
and they
different
always
stuff.
built like, you know, they always built their cities always had something to do with like, you know, like the sky, like Stonehenge, you know,
Oh, yeah.
stuff like
Sky,
that. Even
stars, yeah,
the
sun, all
alignment
that
of
stuff.
certain things, and you know, with the heavens and whatnot. You know, it's
Now,
like
there's places in South America. I'd have to look it up. I can't remember where it's at, but there's like a huge serpent that they laid out on the ground, but you cannot tell what it is unless you're 100 foot.
Yeah,
in the
I know
air.
what you're talking about. Yeah,
And they couldn't fly.
Well, there's a
Right.
lot of
Supposedly.
that. Yeah, there's places overseas too where like in the side of like hills and stuff, it's the same kind of thing. They built these mounds where you can't really make it out on the ground, but you get above it and it's a butterfly or it's a this or it's a that,
Yeah.
which is kind of strange that they would be making something like that
If
Because-
no one was up there.
because they couldn't fly.
Right.
They maybe made it so that whoever's up there could see it, and they were like, "Oh, there's
It had to have been something, for the gods or
right.
whatever
Thank
you
you
want to call it.
for creating me."
Now, I do believe that it's human nature as a whole to believe that there's something in the sky. There's something, whether it be gods or angels or aliens or whatever. I think
Just to put some kind of meaning to
Ye-
things.
Yeah.
yeah, especially when you see weird stuff happen, and I'm
That you
sure
can't
plenty
explain.
of weird stuff has happened, and a lot of it is. There was this one researcher, South Africa, and the company she ran and stuff investigated this stuff, and 95% of the time could determine, within a pretty close ratio that it wasn't a UFO, it was this or it was that.
Mm.
Maybe that's a cover up,
Right.
but it sounded like they were pretty good at actually digging it out and finding out what's the truth,
Yeah.
And so many, I don't know. There was one report, 94 in Zimbabwe, they had a elementary school that there was an alien landing while all the teachers were inside and the kids were out at recess. An alien landed in the woods right outside, and like a bunch of kids ran out to see it. And then you have all these eyewitness accounts from these children on what they saw, and a lot of it's really close. And it's kind of crazy that, kids can make up stories, but when you got
When they all
I think
make
it
up
was
the
like
exact same story.
60 kids that have a very similar story, but then it got real muddy because this psychiatrist who also studied some of this stuff came in and talked to all the kids. He was also a climate activist, so a lot of their stories were about how we're destroying our world, and that's what the aliens were telling them, and it just got real muddied up
Right? Is
over
it
a
an
period
actual
of time.
story, or is
like,
it just like an avenue to make
Right.
these kids believe a certain thing? Yeah.
yeah, so
Indoctrinating them. And
Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
word I was
Yeah.
looking for.
so it's really, and plus,
So
There you
this
go.
dude went dressed up like an alien
Right.
and went outside of school.
They shot him out of a
He
cannon.
was like,
Maybe.
Don't use straws, kids.
Maybe.
"You're killing the planet. I gotta run away now."
Paper, not
straws.
plastic.
All right.
there was
Is it
another one in
The paper
in
straws
Europe
in
at one
the,
point,
in the
though, that
plastic wrappers.
Yeah,
I love
that.
that.
over 200 people saw like these 4 objects flying through the city and freaking all take off or whatever, but there was like 200 eyewitness accounts. So I mean,
Yeah.
when you get something like that, like, oh, there was something there.
Oh, dude. I mean,
What it
there's-
was is unknown, but
Yeah.
there was something there.
every other episode of Unsolved Mysteries back in the day.
Oh yeah,
You know, I mean, there's so many crazy things. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
just the dude, you know, like the movie Fire in the Sky. Remember that dude?
no,
You remember that was like, they're like loggers or whatever. And dude, they were like coming out of the woods at the end of the night, you know, and they saw something and looked like a fire in the sky. And the one dude went off to look at it and he was gone. So they had this whole like investigation of where is they. They thought like all the guys like killed him or whatever. And then later he ends up like coming back. You know what I mean? And I mean there's a movie on it. It's got the dude that plays the T-1000, and
it's
it's
supposed
got,
to be a true story.
yeah, it's based on a true story. This happened in like probably like the 70s though.
Okay,
I'm not good with names, but there's a movie on it, and the dude, like, you know, he was pretty messed up from it because then he told his story about it, that he was like woke up on this ship and there was just all this crazy stuff going on. There was like no gravity or anything, and then eventually they just like dropped him off, and then he called and they went and picked him up, and he's like at some closed gas station because he was like, of course, nude or whatever, and he was just like freaking out, you know what I mean? And just had that, you know,
I'd be freaked out
PTSD.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
man.
think?
So it's, you know, that's like a story, you know, that a lot of people were involved in, even like law enforcement. It was just like the dude went off and like they actually watched him get taken and they were trying to tell him what happened. Of course, no one would believe him and stuff, you know. So like, oh, you killed him. They're investigating it. You know how weird it is. So, I mean,
Wow.
there's more to the story that's in the movie, but it's an actual, you know, something happened to this dude.
Oh
He
yeah,
went
something
somewhere.
happened.
Where'd he go? Right?
Yeah.
On an acid trip in the woods?
Yeah, I was gonna say he was tripping on LSD. Somebody picked him up in a van. That van happened to have a waterbed inside of it. He just thought it was 0G. And they
Or,
were-
I mean, they're loggers, so he found some of these mushrooms out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ate them.
Accidentally.
Went interplanetary in his
One
trip.
interplanet.
I don't know, man. I've never had a trip like that, or I was just
There's just a
disappeared
lot
and
of, there's
woke up in
tons
an
of
operating
stories,
room.
though, you know, of
Oh,
people's
yeah.
personal experiences that are really actually interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and the ones that are, you can kind of tell the ones that like are probable,
Yeah.
and the ones that are just fantasy.
Clout
It's
or
the-
looking for attention.
I was talking to
or-
one guy, and I'd have to look his name back up, but again, that's almost a whole nother podcast in itself. But yeah, he claimed that he met aliens and traveled with them to their home planet, and they were friends, and they used to come and visit him all the time. And
You guys sounds insane.
Now, I will say there's a lot of reports of like these whistleblowers were saying and stuff. Like a lot of our military fighter pilots and stuff have seen these kind of things.
yeah,
My
lots
only
of
thought
reports.
there is if we did have some kind of classified advanced technology that we were testing out, you probably would at some point try to put it into a position where a friendly would see it or intercept it or be able to detect it to see how stealthy is it? Is it detectable? How easy is it for modern day fighter jets and stuff to find these things? And just
Gi-
as a matter of testing.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, giving it an actual field test without somebody's knowledge is going to be a much more realistic test. Other than, hey, we're going to send this thing up. Let us know.
Right. Hey, it's going to
Like-
be in this area. Let me know if you find it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it's organic and
yeah.
the other party doesn't know anything about it, and then get those reports, that would probably help, I would imagine, in the R&D process of building
Like,
technology.
okay,
like that.
wow. Well, we were able to get within this range of this vehicle without being noticed.
Right.
And it like, mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it seems pretty probable to me that, I believe these guys are seeing this stuff. These guys aren't nuts. These are well-vetted, highly trained, pilots in the military and stuff. Able to handle way more stuff than we can, just workload-wise, because they're so busy in those planes all the time. But I believe they're seeing something. I'm just not so convinced of what it is they're seeing.
I would believe, though, if say it was the U.S. or any government that was creating flying saucers, whatever you want to call them, any type of these super maneuverable craft, sooner or later, one's going to get shot down in another country. That other country is going to tear that apart and make their own and probably broadcast it to the world.
Look
hey, we got your shit.
Yeah, look how long they kept the stealth fighter classified.
Yeah. And
You
then
know what
China,
I mean?
and then what? Didn't China get one? One crashed in China, I think.
Someone shot it down.
And they're like, yeah, it's ours now, bitch.
Yeah.
that's how they
But
work.
I mean, again,
so.
even more reasons, because a lot of the reports that I've seen anyway, and that they were talking about during the hearings and stuff, was all just off the East Coast, just off the West Coast.
Very,
that
very
kind
close
of stuff.
to military bases.
Very close to military bases, but close to home also, to where if they did get shot down and we were successfully able to shoot them down, it wouldn't fall into the wrong hands necessarily.
Well,
so again,
and honestly, who else are you going to test it against? The American military
it
has
seems like-
the best military. So like,
if you can,
you're
trick
going
them,
up against the best team,
right?
So
Yeah.
it's like,
It kind of seems like we test our
Be
stuff on the
obvious.
rest of the world
Like-
all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
no,
pick a fight.
no,
No.
nah,
never
nah,
happens.
never,
nah. See,
nah.
Plausible deniability. I don't know.
We would
that.
never like.
Of course, we're the good guys.
Our government has never lied to us. Never
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. There's something there. It's
thought
either some
corrupt or
huge steps in technological advancements that our government or some government is making.
Yeah.
Or there's technology out there that we're not aware of.
or there's goddamn aliens among us,
Which, if that's the case, man,
or both.
I want to ride. That sounds
Oh.
cool.
You don't even like flying. You're gonna get in a spacecraft.
Feel like it'd be safer than those fucking buses with wings
You
we
could-
fly around.
That's true.
That thing can go
Too bad
through-
you're too late for Heaven's Gate, man. You could have
Ah.
caught it right.
Yeah, man.
I'm not too late. I catch up.
Yeah, that's true.
Nah,
Maybe
is
not
it?
too late.
Hey, isn't that bar downtown? Like-
That strip club.
That's a different
Gate.
place
That's-
altogether,
yeah.
Justin.
You got to put
Oh.
the flag over your face and wear your tennis shoes.
Well, I think we're
What's
just as
the dental
confused as we've
dam
always
for?
been on this
Yeah,
subject.
we haven't learned anything. No.
I
No.
think I did. I know that
I did, and I'm
It's
stupid.
insane.
either we are alone in the universe or we're not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like, what does
And-
everybody?
and they're
think? Leave a
equally
comment.
terrifying. I can't remember who said that, but that was a quote I read from some.
It's like you said. What does everyone else think? Leave a comment.
No, yeah, absolutely. That was
we
that was definitely
we
wanna
need
hear
this interaction.
experiences. If you guys had any
Oh
third
yeah.
encounters, like let us know.
Have you guys had personal?
I don't.
Or seen
Honestly,
it, ever
even,
seen anything
even
that
if you had a
couldn't-
hand job from a
didn't you say
legal
you thought
alien,
you
we
did?
want to hear about it.
Yeah, there was one point like I thought I saw something like it's hard to say, but like there was a blue dot at the high sky and it was going all over. I couldn't tell what
That's
it was,
really
but
weird.
it just went everywhere. And
It's
then like,
unnatural.
yeah,
Yeah. When I saw
And I
something
was
like
just
that
like,
one night in
it
a
doesn't move.
just over a
normal.
cornfield, I'm just driving along and I kind of, out in the country and I kind of caught a light out of my eye and just, I don't know how to describe it other than kind of shaped like a light bulb and it kind of was glowing like a light bulb and just, I couldn't see it, like tell how close or whatever it was. It just kind of hung in the air next to me as I was driving for a minute and then kind of faded out. And
Wow.
I just kind of blew it off as weird reflection out of my window or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It wasn't something I was like, oh my God,
I
what's
saw
that?
something one time. We're like in the Smoky Mountains, like out in the middle of nowhere. So you get out and it's just night sky, no other lights perverting anything. And there was something up there, but if like you looked at it, you couldn't see it. You know, it's that peripheral.
Yeah.
So it's like if you weren't
Like trying
looking,
to find the predator.
right? You're trying to like if you wanted to look at the thing, it was gone. But if you like were looking over here, then you could see it over there. But when you looked at it, and this thing was like him, it was dancing around and stuff. But like I couldn't. None of us could. There's like 2 other people with me, and like none of us could like. We all
Focus
had
on it.
right because when you looked at it, it was gone. But if you looked over here off to the side of it, you could see the thing.
Yeah.
And when you looked, dude, it was the craziest thing. It was probably like 18.
It probably was predators then.
Dang, I'm the
Maybe,
only one that
man.
hasn't seen nothing. Either that or I blocked it out because it was so traumatic.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Butt probed.
What was that
But-
one time?
I was
that
gonna
one time
say,
you were missing for 2
yeah.
weeks.
Yeah. Was I missing? Dude,
don't
if
remember
if
that?
I was ever missing and like I just come back like nothing happened,
I wouldn't
please
say
that.
let me know that I was
Do you
missing.
do you not realize when it rains, you go outside, bend over, put your ass in the air, and a satellite comes out, collects water, and shoots off?
I still do that? Jesus. I thought I
Somebody-
kicked that habit a long time ago.
Somebody's watched way too much South Park around here.
Yeah.
You know, let's talk about space. though. I just want to remind us that Voyager 2 got lost.
Yeah.
It did actually the other day. It did make a transmission back to Earth.
Oh, did it?
I think so. I don't know if they had turned it back, but some dumbass
Yeah.
at NASA put in the wrong coordinates.
There's
And,
some intern or something, wasn't
yeah,
it?
it's like
Probably a
things been
degree
responding
Oh, yeah.
since
Yeah.
1977. It's like 12.5 billion miles
it's
into
a-
deep space.
It might have just bounced off an alien ship.
Might have.
Yep. Just kept
They found the Yoko Ono record on it.
They would shoot it.
Yep.
You'd be like, no, they'd probably just collect it and then like turn it into garbage. Like
They were
this-
like,
what is
"Oh,
this?
there's our leader."
It'd be funnier
Yeah.
if they sent it
Yoko.
back.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it just starts returning. They're like,
They
"Take your
would. They
garbage
sent
and
it
keep
back
on
with
your
a note
planet."
that said, "Is because he married her, John Lennon deserved to die." Like,
Oh, brutal.
dude shouldn't be singing about peace, man. He should have sang about 38 snub nose.
I was thinking just like a letter
Revolvers.
from the aliens, like, please don't litter.
Oh.
They just return
You
it.
all are the alien. We are the aliens. Yoko Ono proves that.
Well,
All
I
right.
think
Well,
that's fair.
I think we covered aliens for now, huh?
I think
We
we're
did.
done with aliens.
So yeah, give us your experiences if you got any, and
We'll see you on the next one.
absolutely.
Cool.
Peace.
My dang old truck, my dang old pickup truck, and my dog. Who hit my wife?